Okay, so we have our form here. Now it just says my custom form, and it has a bunch of stuff that we don't really need or want, or maybe we do, who knows, but it's just not the form we want. So we need to configure the data so that it better matches what our swapping form is going to be. So let's get into the code, go back into swapper boost forms and take a look at some of these fields here. So last time I explained the ID, it's got to be the same. And dev is true. We're going to keep that on just while we're building this. Title, I think we saw what title does. So title changes the title of the form. Description does the exact same thing. So let's do swapper staking proposal and description. Stake minion, because we want to say just DAO funds. We want to say it's like a minion vault or a minion funds, or not funds. Stake minion funds into a swapper farm. Excellent. Now, this is where it gets a little, it's kind of like the change.js thing. We have these kind of blobs of data on the app. And right now we're just using those as sort of like central stores just to sort of help us enumerate which UI we would like to render. And it's no different with this proposal type. So what we have to do is this would render a member proposal, and that's not what we want. We want a swapper staking proposal. So let's go into proposal types here and make a new proposal type. So, oops, swapper staking, and we're gonna just say swapper, swarp staking proposal. Yay! So we have that done. Let's go back into this, into our form Lego, swapper staking. Nice, that's done. TX, let's just comment this out. That's a big deal, and we're not going to get into that right now. I promise you we will later. We're going to work on the UI first and foremost. So let's think about what we want on our swapper form. So at the bare bones, there's a lot of cool things you can put on a staking form. You can calculate the APR. You can see how much you've already staked, how much if you what percentage is yours. There's a lot of things that we can add, little widgets and stuff. But at the fundamental, we need to know what farm we want to stake in, right? Because it's not like on the swapper page or on another dex's or farm site page where you have already chose the farm. You need to tell the DAO which farm or which contract address you'd like to interact with. So we need a field for that, and we need a field to tell the farm how much. And that's pretty much it. It's basically like we need two fields, and then maybe we also want a title and a link. Maybe you want a link to the farm that we're going to be doing. So, but the title and link kind of seem optional. So, or maybe, yeah, maybe not required. So let's keep our title. Let's, for now, just delete all these. Maybe not link. What we'll do is we'll get link and we'll paste it into here. I will talk about additional options in a second. Let's keep description too, because we might want to describe what we're doing. So I think that'd be perfect, actually. Field, title, and then we're going to have a field or an object for, let's just use this to mark right now what we're going to do. We're just going to say this is for our which farm or which, staking contract, whatever you want to call it, which rewards, I think they call it on Swapper. And how much. So this is kind of what our form's going to look like. It's going to be pretty squat when we open it back up. Oh, sometimes you have to refresh. We're working with static data, so the bundler doesn't always refresh it. Just a heads up if something seems off. Here we are. And then this is the additional option. So when we have something in additional options here, this field.link, that's this more button here. And so it's an optional field that you can add to your form. So if you want to add a link, here it is. Now, we wouldn't want that to be mandatory. So the required is what tells the form to check, hey, there needs to be a value here. And to be honest, none of these are required. I'll also go in detail about how the required links and how does a title, a string title, tell us that this field is required. Well, let's take a look at a field. A field, you guessed it, is just another blob of data. And so you have all these properties on it that tell Form Builder what to render. So title is a type input, and with the label title, the label is just that little label right above the field here. And then name. The name is what we're going to be using whenever we want to reference the field here or the values that the user types inside this field. HTML4 is for accessibility. So if you click on the label, it matches the label with the actual field. Placeholder is that text right inside here. And expect type is a type validation system that we have. So you can choose a type, and then we're going to validate that it's a string of a certain type automatically for you. So we have lots of validations we're doing. So we got an array of strings. We have types any, integers, number, address. That's like the Ethereum address. And this kind of works automatically for you. So all you have to do, in our case, we don't really need to make new fields and save them in the field thing. Right now, at least, it's not really something that we're going to reuse because, as you'll see, we'll expand on this later. So let's just paste in a couple templates here. So for which farm we want to use, we want to validate for address. I don't know why I jumped all the way to the bottom there, but I did. We want a type input. We want the I think, yeah, Swapper calls them rewards. Or let's just do staking address. Staking address. Name will be staking address. This name is what we reference here in required. So we're going to we really need to know which address we're even talking about here. So we definitely need staking address. That is a required field. And I'm going to put that also kind of in a visual hierarchy sense. I'm going to put that above description. And the placeholder is going to be, say, we like to do 0x, yeah, I think 0x, and then expect type address. So that one's done. And we're going to move this one up too. Description, sort of, you might need it. Probably should. You probably let people know why you're going to stake a bunch of their funds into someone's staking address. The next one is going to be the amount. So this is also going to be, for now, just type like a regular input. And we're going to just say amount. And then maybe just to help people out, or no, we'll use the placeholder text for that. We're going to do name is amount. Again, this just helps the entire Form Builder API know what we're referencing here. When we start to search our data from this form and send it to a smart contract, we're really going to want to remember this name field here. So amount, nice and easy to remember. And we'll also match our HTML4 to that as well, just for convenience. And then our placeholder, let's do in-way. Expect type, integer. This will also be another guard just to make sure people aren't sending decimal amounts like you want to stake 1.0 whatever token. This is so that we do it in base units. Again, I feel like as we build this form out, this field here is probably going to be temporary. It's not super useful. We want to build something a little bit more fresh, a little bit more user friendly. But right now, just to get this form built, we're just gonna work with this. And let's see if we didn't blow up the app or if we did blow up the app. Either one. There we go. Yeah, I think there we go. So we have the basics of the form built right here. This is your UI. We can add a link. Everything we need is right here. Oh, you know what? Before I sign off, there's one thing that's missing, our amount. We absolutely need to know the amount. So let's add that to our required, to the required array. Perfect. Look at that. Now, if we try to submit, it's going to tell us that they are required.